Hello, hello, and welcome along to Brazil once again. Third time's a charm. We are here for the Tier 3 race, the finale, where the constructors will be decided, and you can enter the poll in chat right now and vote on who you think will win. Sorry if I'm going to get the apologies out of the way. Sorry if you get off put by my voice today. I'm very ill, but I'm going to try and deliver the best commentary that I can. One last time this season. And also we'll get rid of these horrible overlays and hopefully get some of our new sexy ones up. And also sorry about that big long intro, but we had some technical difficulties getting people into the game. But we're here now. It's looking a bit overcast, has to be said. Hopefully no late rain, because that would make qualifying very boring. But it also might mix up the order a little bit heading into the race. Because there's a few good penalties to be served here as well. I believe Zerveld and Pavic are the people taking good penalties here today. And there you go. I didn't change Duck's name. Let me change that because he'll shout at me. Duck. What number is Duck? Number 2. There we go. Solve that. We've got a few people heading out onto track now. I am going to bring up, actually, I know this looks really ugly temporarily, but not that. That. Just so I can see who is on a lap. Vicario winning the World Drivers' Championship. Okay. I'll take your word for it. I do believe first to be crossing the line isn't Livingstone, it is Swan, I believe. It will be Swan. The championship. Sorry, the man who has got the championship this season. And he'll be heading down the main straight now with that new gold and blue helmet he wanted me to point out. And heading into turn 1 now. Very a lot of commitment on the brakes. He swings the car into the left and will stay close to the curb on the inside there before swinging it back out to the right, opening the DRS, and now flying down into turn 4. Purple sector 1, of course, because he's going to be the first person to set a competitive time for it, as he will now head up to turn 7. Or is it 6? 6 this is. And now heavy on the brakes once again, as you'll swing the car into the right-hander and into this long left-hander, which is very satisfying to do. Back on the power, using a little bit of the curb there to find the extra bit of track before he anchors on the brakes and swings the car into the right-hander. We don't want to spin here, it's very easy to lose traction in the rear as you head through there. And now swing it into the left-hander, back on the power. Purple sector 2, of course, as well, but he has been beaten in the first sector by the looks of things. But here we go, as you fly up to the line now. What is it going to be? It's going to be a 108.057 for Swan. I think we're going to see people in the sub 108s today, so maybe not his best lap. And it isn't. Oh my god, best now. Going to the top of the time is 107.9. There we go, sub 108 for best. I'm getting all mixed up with these drivers at the moment. Hydrate. We've got enough hydrates, okay? I will try and get some of those out of the way. But here comes Sam Palmer now. Up to the line. What can he do? I think that was a 1:09.8 for Sam Palmer. Puts in P7 at the back of all the time lapse for now. And now Hugo Magnussen goes up to P6. Just ahead of Co7, the Ferrari. And I believe next to cross the line will be Luke Martin, race winner here in Tier 3. What can he do in Sao Paulo though? It looks like it's a slow lap for him, maybe going for another lap now, as he'll go barreling into turn 1. Sargent in the pit lane, so I think that's basically the first few runs over and done with. So it might actually be, if Luke Martin is committing to another lap, it might be next across the line, might be him. I think he is committing to a lap. It's an Alfa Romeo, nearly swipes him out of the track there. It's a green sector 1 for Luke Martin, so it is a better lap than his last. A little bit of a snap of oversteer there. He came over the hill. And now right against that inside curb, putting back on the power as he will barrel now into turn 10. Back on the power once again as you head around this very long left-hander. I actually feel like the game's really quiet. Can you even hear the game? Hang on. There we go. And there you go, Luke Martin putting himself up into P5 on those used tyres. More use than anybody, I'd say, as he did an extra little bit of an outlap. And making a return here at Amethyst Racing is Isaac Vicari. And where did he go? Oh, I think he might have invalidated his lap. Well, this might be his first lap. He's invalidated this lap. Okay, so is it going to be Jeff Pavic now crossing the line to start another lap? I think it will be. So here goes Jeff now, heading up into turn 6. Committing himself through there into 7. Now down the gears as he takes turn 8 and gear 4 into turn 9. He'll shift down again, get back on the power before going back down the gears again. A very technical sector here in sector 2. Looks like a pretty good lap here though. All we have to do now is keep it flat out and make sure not to do a monk and invalidate on this inside line. And it looks like he's going to get away with it right up to the wall. And he puts himself up into P4 for Jeff Pavic. Really going to be nullifying the effect of that grid penalty he's going to be taking today. Oh wait, there's 2 Ferraris here. It's Ben Cassie in the other Ferrari. Is he on a lap? I think he is, and he's gone P3, putting that Scuderia Ferrari up onto the second row alongside Rory Bates at the moment. But there goes Sargent in the Red Bull, putting it up into the top 3 now as well. As is that Rory Bates? No, it's Sam Palmer starting a lap. It looks like Best is on a good lap here as well. Looks like he's a 10th up. As he crosses the line now, will he reinstate his provisional pole? Oh no, I think... Is that a weird... That was a weird glitch. Let's ride on board with the current provisional pole sitter. Looking pretty quick around Sao Paulo at the moment. He's had a pole position twice this season already. But he will be looking to make it another and maybe get a race win that he's yet to grab this season. So Aston Martin getting out of the way there as he will barrel out into turn 6. Very high speed, very committed corner. Trying not to lose the back end of the car as you come up over the hill. Right on the edge of track limits there for Kelsey Best as well. It's a yellow flag. I think that is might be Luke Martin or Jeff Pavic in the Mercedes. Having a bit of a moment on the final corner. But here comes Kelsey Best now right on the limit. You see the car squirreling away as he heads through Junção. It did say he's down, but I think that was on the sector, not the overall time. Yes, here he goes now. DRS active as he flies up to the line. What is he going to manage to do? Oh, it is a reinstation of his provisional pole by, I think, half a tenth. So 107.910. A good lap there from the McLaren driver. As both Aston Martins go across the line. And Rory Bates puts it into P5. What can his teammate Sam Palmer do? Doesn't improve, stays P13. This is Duckett coming through the final few corners. His teammates still yet to set a time. And you guys have voted that Williams will be the the champions here today. This duck does improve, goes up to P9. Best plus goat equals boat. True. True. Kosev now improves to P8 as well. And I believe... Oh, that's my bad. Masic did pick a new number. I've not changed it. No, I have changed it. Oh, he's not changed it on the game then. Oh, you silly goose. You silly goose. You go Magnussen into the pit lane. I don't think the Aston Martins are going to be on a lap here. So it could be Vicari. I think it is Vicari who is on a lap. Going through Juncao now. Yeah, look at the battery percentage. He's definitely pushing hard. He's gone green in the first, green in the second. Here he goes, across the line. What he's going to manage in the Alfa Romeo. It's still P15 for Isaac Vicari. Can't find the time that he needs at the moment. He's in for the Alfa Romeo team here today. And I believe next across the line will be Kosev, but I think he's probably coming in. Yes, he is. Best going to set a quicker lap time than you. Martin into the pit lane as well. Duckett will be in, so I believe next set lap will be Jeff Pavic, who we saw actually was up in P4 at one point, and now down into P12. But not a lot of time separating these guys at the moment. It's less than a second all the way down to P14. So it's very competitive around here. Very short track though at Brazil, so it is to be expected. As here comes Jeff Pavic now through turn 1 and turn 2. Back on the power now as he heads through turn 3. Activating that DRS once again. Let's go Martin. As he will, you got some supporters in chat. Luke Martin in the Mercedes. We're currently watching his teammate Jeff Pavic on his second lap here at Sao Paulo. As he'll go barreling now through turn 7. Heavy on the brakes as he heads into turn 8 now. Marty with a shocking performance, started strong. And here goes Jeff Pavic into turn 10. Swinging the car in there, trying to get the best exit he can as he plants the power down through turn 11. Keeping the car stable. Back on the power, using that outside curb, it's very grippy. You can get the best amount of traction out there. As he'll activate DRS once again. Approaching 200 miles an hour as he'll come up to the line. And it is P5 for Jeff Pavic, a good lap from him. As Swan now goes onto provisional pole with a 1:07.844. Just 0.06 of a second ahead of Kelsey Best. And I believe that is Hugo Magnussen coming across the line to start a new lap, I believe. Livingston also starting a new lap. I do believe... I think Livingston's on a lap. I think he is. P2 last race. It was a Williams 1-2 over in Kota. Let's see what he could do with his teammate currently on provisional pole. Swinging the car in to the left-hander and back up the hill. Some nice camera shots around this track. Hopefully we'll see some good side-by-side action in the main event. And not too much rain. I don't know actually. Can anyone in chat tell me if there's going to be any rain in the race? Oh wait, we have to restart anyway. Never mind. But here comes Zach Livingston now. Round the final few corners. Number 50 for the Williams team. Keeping it tight to the inside. And it's P3 onto the second row for the Williams driver. Magnussen actually up into P4 as well. A little bit of a stat there for the Williams driver as he comes through the first turn. And Roy Bates, what can he do? We've seen him up there at the top in a few qualifying sessions this season. I think that was an improvement for Rory. Unless he's only just starting his lap, which he could be actually. Let's have a look at Luke Martin as he comes through the final few corners. Purple sector 1 and 2 apparently. So it's looking competitive here for the Mercedes. Oh no, green 1 and 2 for Luke Martin. So it is an improvement. DRS active on the Mercedes. What can he do is he comes up to the line. It's P8 just behind his teammate for Luke Martin. And there's a spin at the final corner. I believe that is Hugo Magnussen. Yes, it is. Being very careful not to get beached on that inside curb. Here comes Ben Cassie now, reserving for the Ferrari team today. Can you throw out a stinger for Luke Martin and put him out of his misery? I think no message is on an outlap. Duck seems to be on a lap here. He comes through Juncker. Looks like he is going to be improving on his time. And just the two easiest corners on the track now for him to navigate and get that assistance of DRS. But this looks like it might be his final lap in the session. As he comes up to the line, it's P8 for David Ducker. Up into the top 10 for the Alfa Romeo. Let's have a look at the man currently on the front row alongside Will Swan. It is Kelsey Best, the American, validating on turn 2 and losing the back end on the curb. That is not how he's going to want to start his final lap here in qualifying. Pavic out qualifying Martin. As here comes Noah Masic up to the line. What is he going to manage on his final run here in quali? Maybe he might have actually warmed up for another run, possibly. Roy Bates, currently 10th. What could he manage? I don't think he's actually... He might be pushing for another lap as well. A lot of people seem to be committing to 2 laps in a row. I believe Jeff Pavic is doing the same. Trying to work out who's who here at the moment. I think Sam Palmer. He's warming up for another lap. Is that Livingston? Yes. Livingston is warming up for another lap. With Best right behind him. This is going to be Noah Masic's last attempt in qualifying and he backs out of it. He is done here in Sao Paulo for qualifying. Roy Bates on his last attempt. What can he manage? Goes up to P3 for the Aston Martin. A great result there in the final stages of qualifying. Jeff Pavic is done in this qualifying session. Isaac Vicari doesn't improve. Luke Martin doesn't improve. Neither does Sargent. So next across the line is going to be Palmer, who has invalidated. So he's not going to improve. And I believe next across the line will be the current provisional pole sitter, and he's invalidated. So Will Swan is not going to have another shot here in qualifying. I believe that might be it. Ice Trim's invalidated as well. I think that is it for qualifying. I think everyone is done. And Will Swan, once again, taking pole position in Tier 3, but by only 600ths of a second as Kelsey Best. And yeah, great run of form from the guys. Very, very close. Less than a second all the way down to P14. And yeah, a lot of people seem to be invalidating on their final laps. Sun in his eyes. Alright, so we are going to now restart and set the grid for the main event. We've got a few grid penalties to hand out, and yeah, we'll be back very shortly.